I've made a tool that generates an infinite amount of textiles for Blender, Unreal 5, or frankly any other engine, and I'm giving it away for completely free. You're welcome. I'll tell you how you can grab it in this video. But no, it's not an AI tool. Sorry, this must be where everyone leaves the video. There's a huge gap between the textiles that we commonly do in CG and the ones that are around us in the real world. Textile quality is so important to creating believable CG characters, and yet it's often one of the last things that we think about when creating portfolios or even games. Artists sometimes just slap a uniform color on top of a random normal map and call it a day. We can do so much better than that. Here's images of a jeans jacket that I photographed. You can tell that the weft and the warp fibers are colored differently. By the way, weft and warp is just fancy speak to define the threads going in the X and the Y direction. There's also interesting color variations throughout, and you can see that the fibers break up in interesting ways in zones of wear. Games often don't implement better textiles, not because the teams are lazy, but because they don't necessarily have access to tools and data that allows them to deploy better textiles at scale. We can change all that starting today. Here's the Outgang Textile Generator. It's a fully procedural tool that generates high-quality textile textures at any resolution and at any thread count, using popular weave types such as plain weave, twill, and satin. Best of all, the tool allows you to control the color, thickness, and many other details of the weft and the warp fibers independently. This tool comes with presets that you can use as a starting point, such as plain weave linen, rough denim, polyester, or glossy silk satin. The tool is fully procedural, and it weighs about 75 kilobytes only, so it fits about 20 times on a 3.5-inch floppy disk. Great for your backups. Unless you're part of Gen Z, then you probably don't even know what this is. So this is how it works. It's a single file with an SPSR extension that you can open independently using Substance Player, which is free by the way, add to your shelf in Substance Painter or Designer, or load directly within Blender or Unreal 5 using the Substance plugins for those software. You'll find links in the description of this video to download Substance Player or the Substance plugins for both Blender and Unreal 5. Select a preset as a starting point, or just start customizing your own design by setting the thread density and selecting a weave type. Change the resolution of your textures at any time. Choose the colors, material properties, and thickness for both the weft and the warp fibers independently. Then you get groups of details to modulate the look of your textile. You can add slubs for that nice natural fiber look, gaps to add some subtle unevenness between the different fibers, wrinkles for that neglected look, if, like me, you always leave your clothes on the floor, and other useful noises to add some subtle organicity. Just experiment and have fun. You can create some really funky stuff. The generator exports all the textures that you want: albedo, normal map, roughness, and so on. If you use the generator in Blender or Unreal, your textures get directly plugged in your materials. Pro tip, for some really awesome silk, add a touch of metalness to your textile. It'll look really good, trust me. And as a bonus, you get to piss off all who believe that metalness should only be black or white. Now that's priceless. The alpha mask makes the space between the threads transparent, making it easy to generate textiles that filter light in your scenes. The free version of the Textile Generator exports textures up to a resolution of 512 pixels. Now that might seem low, but once tiled in your preferred engine, you'll see that it's going to look crisp and sharp. If you're a student or an enthusiast, you might never have to buy another textile pack ever again. Visit us at outgang.studio to get the free version. And if you want to say thank you in return, you can either leave a comment or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps a lot. There's also a pro version of the tool that is available. And with the pro version, you get to export textures up to 8K resolution. By exporting bigger textures, you reduce the number of times that your textiles have to tile in engine, which is going to lead to an even better visual quality or allow you to create some gorgeous close-ups. The pro version allows you to export not only the normal map, but also the height map. Here I'm using the height map in Unreal 5 with some parallax occlusion mapping to add some subtle depth to my textiles. And if you're a game developer, you're going to love what comes next. The Pro version also allows you to export two very useful masks.
The first is the clown mask,
where the weft, warp, and background use different RGB channels, which means you can do things such as easily mask and recolor the threads in a game engine. The other mask is an HSV shifts mask. This mask encodes the variations in hue, saturation, and value of the threads and is used alongside the clown mask to provide more convincing recolorization in engine. The combination of these two masks with some simple shader code allows you to create infinite variations of your textiles that you can deploy across many characters without having to load any extra textures. You can even give the player the ability to recolorize their textiles in engine. The Pro version comes with this example scene that shows you how I have set up a shader to take advantage of the clown mask and the HSV shifts mask. And you can just straight up use my code if you want. The Pro version of the Textile Generator launches for $50 for both personal and academic use. Best of all, if you're an Outgang member, you get 50% off the price of the Textile Generator. And if you want to use the tool on a game or a VFX production, you'll have to buy a single project commercial license to be able to do that. That's what's available now, but I have so many great ideas for where I want to take this tool next. I'd like to develop more weave types for the Textile Generator, including chevron, nylon, knits, jersey, and create better flyaways for some really nice wool. Even more exciting than that, I want to develop a feature where this tool generates different states of wear for the textiles that are all controlled through a very simple grayscale mask or vertex color. Subtle wear would, let's say, desaturate a garment slightly, like a garment that has been left in the sun for too long. And heavier wear would gradually break up the fibers, going so far as punching holes through the fabric. I'm a small developer dreaming of big ideas, and I have already spent a few months getting this far. So I can only take this tool further if the sales justify it. I'm also interested in developing a close relationship with a few key studios. If you work for a studio and you want to sponsor the further development of the Textile Generator, have access to the source code, talk about how we can develop a custom implementation for your engine, or simply have lifetime usage rights, get in contact with us directly, and we'll see how we can help each other out. Don't forget to check the links in the description of this video to get the free or pro version of the Textile Generator, and also where you can download either Substance Player or the Substance plugins for Unreal 5 and Blender. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time.